Hey everybody, welcome back to Video Game Esoteric, and if what I'm talking about next turns out to be true, and I truly do believe it is going to be one of the most exciting things for Sega fans this year. And honestly, we've had a lot of Sega treats just getting Outrun 2 emulation, working at your hero, and a bunch of other stuff. That is because I've gotten probably like 30 or 40 messages in like the last 8 hours talking about the fact that Virtua Fighter 6 footage apparently leaked online to both Discord and Reddit. And if you know me and you know the channel, I am always talking about and advocating for Virtua Fighter fun. It is my absolute all-time favorite 3D fighting game of all time. I have every single game in the franchise, including some arcade boards, and I have been waiting for Virtua Fighter 6 patiently like every other fan out there. So if this footage is real, we're going to look at it, and honestly, I think it is. It's one of your first tastes of Virtua Fighter, because I talked about basically 2 years ago, before it was even announced, that there were a lot of rumors out there that Virtua Fighter was going to be making its comeback. And in my opinion, I totally get we have Tekkens, we have Street Fighters, Dead or Alive, everything else like that, and they are incredible. But Virtua Fighter stands head and shoulders above any other 3D fighting game, at least for me personally. Now, getting into the footage here, this was what was posted on Reddit and sent to me via a bunch of different links. And you'll see here, taking a look at the text as well as the motion cadence and some of the effects in the game. This is why I truly believe this is 100% authentic Virtua Fighter 6 gameplay footage. Now, of course, it might not be final footage, but there's something very particular about the animation style here and the overall video incorporating some of the developers that really does make this feel like a piece of content that was made for exhibition at maybe a game show sometime soon. And there's going to be one particular moment that actually matches up to footage that Sega has published of Virtua Fighter 6 in a test arena. That's kind of the fun and interesting thing about trying to figure out if these things are true or not. You basically have to follow both stylistic cues as well as animation, and then go back to what Sega's actually published to think to yourself, that seems exactly like what it should. So you're going to see a close-up punch in just a moment, and a tooth is going to be knocked out of somebody's mouth right here. Watch that tooth fly. Now, as we go to Sega published footage of the test arena here, you're going to see Sarah is going to absolutely do the exact same thing, knock the tooth directly out of a mouth. That is one-to-one identical animation and graphical stylings that Sega published on their own YouTube page when they talked about showing some Virtua Fighter 6 content, which we're taking a look at here. And just so you know, I have left links for all the videos as far as the Sega published stuff in the description down below if you want to watch them closer, because I am chopping them up a little bit. But later in the video, I will go through this entire leaked video from start to finish so we can talk about it closer. But the animation style you see here, all of the flowing fabric and everything else, seems to very closely match what this footage shows. So I genuinely believe this is our first look at Virtua Fighter 6 gameplay outside of this test arena. And that to me again is absolutely exciting, and knowing that the team that makes Yakuza and Like a Dragon is behind this in part makes it seem like it's going to be even that much more fun, because the animation style in Yakuza games and the overall intensity of the strikes just 100% absolutely sells the action, and I want to see that in something like Virtua Fighter 6. And apparently it's got a crossroad battle mode as well. That's what this footage is showing off, so it must be a different actual mechanic or gameplay version in Virtua Fighter 6. So I'm sure you'll have arcade and online, but this seems to be maybe about as close to a story mode as you may get. Now, looking at the animation again here, and all the flowing fabrics, the lighting engine, even if this footage is completely shot off a phone, it does closely match what Sega has been showing. So again, I don't really have anything to point to on this one, unlike the Shenmue 4 trailer that ended up being completely fake, that makes you think this is anything other than real Virtua Fighter 6 content. But you leave me a comment down below and you tell me if you feel like this is real or not. For me, it is like a 99.99% chance that this is the same thing. We're going to go back to that excellent text in just a moment, because it also matches some pre-release footage that Sega has released. But honestly, Virtua Fighter 6 coming back in and of itself is exciting, and I really hope that they actually bring this one to arcade so I can go into an arcade in Chicago that may have a cabinet and actually get some matches in with some real human beings. Because unfortunately, in my real life, I know absolutely nobody that loves to play fighting games whatsoever, so it's online or nothing for me. But we're going to do a Virtua Fighter 5 soundtrack sample, so just so you can catch some vibes and think about what we talked about so far, because I'm going to come back and we're going to analyze that footage again and some other pre-release footage to tie it all together in a neat little bow.
Knockout! try again. And
I mean, honestly, I just made you listen to that because it's my channel. I can make you listen to some amazing Virtua Fighter music. And the reality is there is no such thing as a bad Virtua Fighter mainline game. Sure, the original has aged a bit, but honestly, all the way through the ranks, I love every single game, including all the different revisions of Virtua Fighter 5. But I will still say 4 Final Tuned is my favorite Virtua Fighter. So you leave me a comment down below and you tell me which one yours is. Maybe it'll all become Virtua Fighter 6 when the game actually comes out, because I personally cannot wait. But let's move into some of the footage again that Sega has shown. This is a pre-alpha trailer, not really any gameplay, but the reason I'm showing it to you is because I want you to look at this text that's going to pop up in just a moment that says ready. See how it actually appears behind the character and the overall color and font of it. When we move back to something like the footage that we're talking about here, the gameplay footage that is being claimed to be Virtua Fighter 6, you're going to see that exact same text style appear behind the characters. Basically what I'm trying to do here, and I do have an MFA in fine art with an emphasis of directions and cinematography, is tie together aesthetics between footage we know Sega has released versus what you're seeing in front of your screen. The aesthetics match, the animations match, the overall stylistic intent is 100% the same, so that's why I really genuinely do feel like this is 100% footage of Virtua Fighter 6 running, and we are just watching the entirety of this video right now, and all of the fonts here very closely match the fonts that we saw in the pre-release footage directly from Sega as well. So comparing those all together, I think we're just taking a look at some of the first near final Virtua Fighter 6 gameplay footage that we can see, and honestly, having seen it here, even though of course it is still very stylized because it is going to be a trailer, it looks absolutely stunning. The impacts look heavy and hard. Obviously you're going to be doing some physical damage to your opponents with some of them losing teeth, so it definitely has a grittier vibe to it. Kind of feels like a new evolution of Virtua Fighter 6, but honestly feels like a perfect evolution of the Yakuza and Like a Dragon franchise, and all of the animations in there and how you see the physical damage done to the people you're fighting. And I think that's going to be absolutely a 10 out of 10 idea, and if honestly what I'm seeing here, the gameplay is as good, I think we are in for an absolutely massive treat when it comes to Virtua Fighter 6 and Virtua Fighter fans in general. But you've seen the footage, basically the entirety of this video. You tell me down below, are you catching the vibes on this? Are you enjoying what you're seeing? Or do you think maybe it feels a little bit too much like a Tekken? That's my only thought here, is the gameplay footage. It seems a little bit faster than Virtua Fighter 6, but again, it is basically a trailer, so they could be playing around with the speed. Because Virtua Fighter's never been a slow game, but it's never been as fast as some of the other 3D fighting games out there. It's been a little bit more methodical. But honestly, if they want to cast a wider net and get more people into Virtua Fighter, not just fans from back in the day like myself, I could totally see them slightly speeding up the gameplay, and that is because obviously the 3D fighting game space is competitive, and Sega definitely wants a lot of quarters in arcades if they get a release that way, and I can't imagine they wouldn't. They also want a lot of home sales and a lot of longevity and competition of the game, so if it speeds up a little bit, I'm 100% there for it. But again, you tell me what you think of the footage. I really do feel like this has got to just be the real deal. Of course, I can't guarantee that because I have no idea where the footage came from. It popped up online, and then I got a bunch of messages on Discord, on Twitter. Someone even texted me that I know in real life that loves games and said, hey, I just saw this thing. I bet you're going to be excited about it. And the reality of the situation is, you know damn right I am. I love everything Sega Arcade. I've been playing Virtua Fighter since I've been basically a child, and I still to this day put on one of the Virtua Fighter 5s and play some matches online in my spare time when I just feel like playing a game for 20 minutes. So the idea that we're getting very close to a Virtua Fighter 6, maybe a new premiere or a new trailer, and then hopefully a release is absolutely something that I want to see before the end of the year. Now I know Sega really hasn't stated much of a date as to when the games are going to come out, but I hope it doesn't slip to 2027 because I want to spend basically all of fall and winter, if I'm not making videos or working, just sitting in my game room, getting a bunch of ranked matches in Virtua Fighter 6. And if it does come out, I will definitely do a review and I will tell you my online name, so maybe you can get some matches in with Video Game Esoterica as well. Honestly, I am a decent player. I am not top tier in any way, shape, or form, but I can hold my own for the most part. But it seems like we got a new look at Virtua Fighter 6, and one that maybe Sega didn't plan, but that's totally fine because you know all hype is good hype, and people are absolutely 10 out of 10 hyped for Virtua Fighter 6 in the future, and I can't wait for it to come out because it's honestly been so long since we've seen a true new Virtua Fighter numbered entry in the franchise. We are long overdue, and Sega fans are definitely clamoring for it, and honestly, unless Sega comes out with Outrun 3, it's probably the biggest sequel Sega's gonna have this decade. Short of that, we're done. If you have any questions or comments, leave them down below. Otherwise, I'll see you guys next time. Hope you enjoyed the video. Bye-bye.